Most people unknowingly speak their reality into existence. They wake up each day and declare things like, "I'm so tired," "I'm broke," or "I'm unlucky in love." They think they're just stating facts, but they're not reporting, they're programming. In the quantum field, words are not just harmless vibrations of sound. They are powerful frequency commands that carry intention and identity. Of all the phrases you can speak, nothing is more potent than the two words, "I am." Why? Because everything that follows "I am" becomes a declaration of your identity. In the universe's language, your identity and your reality are one and the same. The field doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are being. This is why spiritual teachers for thousands of years have pointed to "I am" as the key to creation. When Moses asked the divine for its name, the answer was simple: "I am that I am." That wasn't just poetry, it was a revelation about the fabric of existence, a reminder that the essence of creation is self-definition. In quantum physics, this aligns perfectly with the observer effect. What you identify as, you collapse into form. Every thought you repeat, every self-description you speak, is an observation of yourself. That observation is powerful enough to alter your reality at the subatomic level. But here's the trap: most people use "I am" unconsciously and against themselves. They attach it to temporary states as if they were permanent identities. "I am tired" becomes "I am a tired person." "I am bad with money" becomes "I am someone who never has enough." Without realizing it, they lock themselves into these frequencies, like tuning a radio to a static, filled station and wondering why the music never changes. This isn't because the universe is punishing them, it's because the universe is obedient. The quantum field is an infinite mirror, reflecting back the vibration you project, no matter what that vibration is. So, here is the shift when you speak, "I am." You are holding the pen that writes your reality. The power of that pen is neutral. You can write limitations or possibilities, fear or love, struggle or flow. The universe doesn't edit your script. It simply produces the play exactly as you've written it. The tragedy is that most people have been conditioned to write tragedies. They have been told that humility means speaking small, that realism means expecting less, and that truth means only declaring what you can see. But in quantum creation, that is backward. You don't speak only what you see, you speak what you choose to see. You don't confirm your circumstances, you confirm your essence. The God state. A state of alignment, this is where the concept of the God state enters. The God state is not about ego or superiority, it's about alignment. It's a state where your inner identity is so coherent, so deeply aligned with your desired reality, that there is no gap between "I am" and what you experience in the physical world. In neuroscience, this is called self-directed neuroplasticity. Your brain rewires itself to match the identity you consistently embody. In quantum mechanics, it's resonance. Your field matches the frequency of a reality, and by the law of energy, that reality has no choice but to match you back. This isn't about begging the universe for a blessing. It's about embodying the blessing until the universe can't tell the difference. Imagine this like tuning forks. If you strike a tuning fork tuned to the note A, and there's another A nearby, the second fork will start to vibrate automatically. No pushing, no convincing, no effort. Just resonance. The God state works the same way. When you vibrate as the version of you who already has the health, the wealth, the love, and the peace you desire, those realities start vibrating back in harmony with you. You're not trying to pull them in. They are drawn to you by the laws of the field. The most important thing is that stepping into the God state begins the moment you stop using "I am" to describe your past and start using it to declare your chosen future as if it's already here. You stop saying, "I am trying to heal," and you start saying, "I am healed." You stop saying, "I am working toward abundance," and you start saying, "I am abundant now." At first, your mind will argue, telling you this is a lie. But in quantum creation, you are not lying, you are leading. You are leading your field, your body, and your mind into coherence with a higher frequency. Once coherence is established, reality has to follow. The motherboard of your reality, most people think changing their life starts with changing their actions. They try new routines, new habits, and new strategies. But if the identity behind those actions stays the same, nothing truly changes. In quantum manifestation, the identity, your "I am," is the frequency transmitter. It's the motherboard of your reality. Every action, thought, and feeling is just a program running on that board. If you don't change the motherboard, all the programs run the same way, no matter how many you install. This is why saying, "I am," with intentionality is so powerful. because it rewrites the motherboard. Neuroscience calls this identity-based habit change. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches that when you consistently think and feel from a future identity, your brain begins to form new neural pathways as if that future is happening now. Bruce Lipton, in his work on epigenetics, explains that your beliefs, your internal "I am" statements, directly influence the biochemistry of your body, turning genes on or off. And in quantum mechanics, David Bohm's concept of the implicate order mirrors this perfectly. The unseen blueprint, your identity, determines the unfolding of the visible reality, your life. But here's where it gets tricky. The subconscious is stubborn. If for years you've been telling yourself, "I am unlucky," "I am not enough," or "I am always struggling," those programs run automatically, often without you even noticing. These phrases become like background noise in your vibration, constantly sending a signal into the field that says, "This is who I am. Send me proof." And the field obeys. This is why the first step to shifting into the God state isn't just saying new "I am" statements. It's catching and interrupting the old ones. Here's a practical example. Imagine someone who has been repeating, "I am bad with money," for years. Even if they try to affirm, "I am wealthy," every morning, the dominant subconscious program will keep overriding it. The quantum field reads the dominant frequency, not the one-off bursts of inspiration. So, the work is twofold: reduce the power of the old identity and consistently embody the new one until it becomes the default. One of the simplest yet most overlooked ways to do this is through conscious interruption. The next time you catch yourself saying, "I am tired," or "I am broke," pause. Don't try to force a fake positive. Instead, shift into a state that feels neutral but aligned, like, "I am restoring my energy," or "I am learning to manage money with ease." This small shift matters because it interrupts the old vibration without triggering resistance from your mind. Over time, you can elevate those statements into the full God state. "I am vibrant. I am wealthy now. I am a magnet for abundance." The power of self-perception. Every time you choose a new "I am," you are collapsing a different version of reality in the quantum field. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles acted differently when observed, not because the observer physically interfered, but because their perception influenced the outcome. Your self-perception works the same way. The moment you observe yourself as the one who already is what you desire, the particle of your reality begins to shift accordingly. When you enter the God state, you stop chasing external proof before you change your internal story. You realize that proof is the last thing to arrive, not the first. And this flips the whole manifestation process on its head. Instead of waiting for life to give you permission to say, "I am loved, I am abundant, I am powerful," you grant yourself that permission, and the field responds to your authority. What's even more exciting is that the God state is self-reinforcing. Once you start living from it, your external results begin to reflect your new identity. When they do, your faith in the process deepens, which amplifies the signal you're sending out, which brings in more aligned results. It becomes a feedback loop of alignment. Living from the God state, now that you understand the power behind "I am" and the science that makes it real, it's time to put it into action. Not as a one-off affirmation or a morning ritual you forget by lunchtime. This is about living from your God state moment by moment. To do that, you need to bring your conscious identity into every micro-interaction of your day. Imagine you walk into a room and think, "I am invisible." That thought instantly shifts your posture, tone of voice, and presence, and others will treat you accordingly. But if you walk in as, "I am magnetic," your energy expands before you even speak, and the field responds in kind. This is why embodiment is not optional, it's the activation switch. There's a 3-step loop I use to keep myself anchored in the God state. Pause before you act or react. This gives your consciousness the space to choose an "I am" that aligns with the reality you want to experience. Feel it fully in your body. Don't just think, "I am abundant." Let your shoulders drop. Breathe as if the abundance is already here, and notice how that changes your nervous system. Move from that identity. Send the email, make the call, or walk into the meeting as if your "I am" is already the established truth. Here's what's fascinating: the more consistently you do this, the more the external world seems to fall in line with your inner state. This is not magic, it's resonance. In physics, when two frequencies are in harmony, they amplify each other. The quantum field mirrors you, and it doesn't argue with you. So when you say, "I am," the only question is, are you broadcasting the version of you that holds the reality you want, or the one that's still waiting? The finality of "I am" The God state is not fragile. It's not something you have to protect like a flickering candle. When you truly step into I am, you become the flame itself, unshaken by the wind. But the moment you start chasing proof that it's working, you step out of it. That's because the God state doesn't operate on the level of, I'll believe it when I see it. It lives entirely in the realm of, I see it because I believe it. The universe, operating through the quantum field, is compelled to mirror that back to you. You are the observer of your own life, and every I am is an act of observation. If you keep observing yourself as lacking, struggling, or waiting, the field will keep serving you that same state. But if you observe yourself as already being, already having, already embodying, there is no room for the old frequency to survive. This is why some people seem to manifest effortlessly, while others feel stuck for years. It's not that the lucky ones have better techniques. It's that they have fewer moments where they betray their chosen identity. They don't oscillate between, I am powerful, and, I hope this works. They decide once, and then they live from that decision as if it were the only truth that ever existed. Your present reality is old data. It's the echo of past I am statements, both spoken and unspoken. The God state doesn't ignore reality. It simply refuses to give it the final word. It speaks from the new frequency until the echo changes. This is why mastering your inner dialogue is non-negotiable. Every time you catch yourself saying, I am tired, I am broke, I am unlucky, you're casting votes for the wrong timeline, and the quantum field is counting those votes in real time. Here's a way to flip this instantly. Next time your mind wants to label you with lack, pause and inject the opposite identity, not as a forced affirmation, but as an act of remembering. If you catch yourself saying, I am overwhelmed, replace it with, I am centered. If you think, I am not ready, shift it to, I am prepared. These micro shifts are quantum shifts in disguise because they alter your frequency in the present moment. And the present moment is where all creation happens. What's beautiful about this is that the more you practice, the less you'll need to catch yourself, because the God state becomes your default. By now, you can feel it, not as an idea in your head, but as a vibration in your entire being. That's the shift. That's the God state breathing through you. And once you've touched it, you can't unknow it. This isn't about forcing the universe to listen to you. It's about remembering that the universe is speaking through you. When you declare, I am, from this frequency, it's not a request, it's a fact. And the quantum field, which has no choice but to mirror coherence, begins rearranging matter, people, and events to reflect your declaration. This is the physics of faith, the science of spirit, the bridge between the seen and the unseen. But here's the real secret. The God state is not something you visit during meditation or affirmations. It's the home you live in. And to make it your permanent residence, you must stabilize it. That's the part most people skip, and why they oscillate between breakthroughs and breakdowns. You can't afford to just taste this frequency. You need to embody it until it becomes the only language your mind, heart, and body speak. So, as we close, take a deep breath, place your hand over your heart, and say it out loud. I am that I am. Let the vibration of those words settle into your bones, because from this moment forward, the universe doesn't have to wonder who you are, and neither do you.